Bananas.
Good evening and welcome to this episode of Eat, Cook and Survive, where a bunch of people gather in different locations, mostly so we can play Dungeons and Dragons.
Ooh.
Yay, just making sure the audio is working. Yes, it appears to be. Hurrah. Hi, everyone. Yes.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
That's hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Yes, we are back playing D&D after a bit of a hiatus because life happened. Many things happened sort of in between our last session and this one. So, you know.
It's only been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Silly of me, Karen.
That was good. So, yeah, but as you may have noticed, Tom has...
Tom has arrived!
Tom has turned up. Or Connor has morphed into Tom. One of the two.
Oh.
I'll never tell.
We haven't seen both of them on the same stream for a while, so...
No, we know you're not Connor. You're
No,
not
but Steph
wearing a headache.
Or a cask.
And you haven't brought Steph with you, so...
That's true.
You also haven't brought alcohol with you.
True.
That's also true
as well.
That we know of.
Hello! Oh, Tilly wants to join in too.
Move your arms, Laura. I think everyone can see.
I'm not sure we can actually.
There she is.
Hey!
Digi does!
Our audience.
Yep.
Down straight.
In a stroke of cute doggy.
Cute little Laura.
What? What's wrong?
I
She's
started
just
stroking her
getting
for
in the
0.5 milliseconds.
Yeah. How dare you?
Anyway, so yeah, we're back playing some D&D today.
Dinner.
Yeah.
She's had dinner.
And
She had second dinner.
she could have had attention for most of the day, but she kept wandering off.
Oh dear.
Anyway, as we're getting distracted by a dog, we are back playing some D&D. Yeah, it's been a while, so look forward to it. Welcome back, Tom. Glad to have you back.
I'm very pleased to be here.
Yeah.
It's been a very long time.
It's been 84 years.
4,000 years. It's only been like, I think it was last year, wasn't it? Oh, no, we didn't know. It was January we finished off the last campaign. And we also went, we'll just wait for everyone to be able
And
to.
we were doing some Waterdeep dragon
Yes.
heist,
Yeah.
but then that stopped for. I can't even remember why that stopped.
We opened the
Yes.
tavern. We're all
Doing
fine.
Laura had built her tavern, yeah.
That was it. We didn't need to do anything else.
Nope, that's
reached
all
the
I
end
was
of
there
that
for.
book. Spoiler alert, you built the tower.
Building a tavern.
I mean, there is, I think there's supposed to be much more after it, but
We
we'll
got
gloss
some
over.
important stuff done.
Down straight.
So, yeah, it's nice to have you back. We had a nice Wingspan with the European expansion on Wednesday, which will be up on the YouTube channel soon, but it's also available on the VOD here. So type in the exclamation point board games after the command.
Yay!
Then we'll be able to take you to our YouTube page where we keep our board game,
But not yet.
stuff. No, watch that later. Like and subscribe that one. And also, give us a follow here because we appreciate you. Appreciate the heck out of you for sticking around.
We appreciate the heck out of you.
Enjoying this nonsense because we all do.
It is absolute nonsense.
If you want to see the previous adventure, because we are on episode 5 now.
Session 5. I've just written it
Gosh,
down.
is that it?
Yeah, I know. Right?
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
Do 4 sessions to get to level.
We've done a
3,
session a month.
basically. Yeah.
That's how.
It's slow burn. It's a slow burn. This.
Yeah.
It is rather.
That just means it lasts longer.
Yeah, so does dying every session because you're only level 3.
No,
We are level
we
3 now,
didn't
so
die
that is,
last time.
that's true.
No, but some of you went unconscious.
Level 3. Level 3.
We have since hit
Level
level 3, so that is a bonus. People will not be dying quite so easily.
Level.
Although Grit's less certain because you rolled a 2, didn't you?
Yeah, I got 2. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, no.
It really is at the moment. It's not really the rolling thing's not really being sold to me. I'm going to be honest. There's definitely an element of wanting to take the average. Oh yeah, definitely risk.
If you don't take the average, you have the possibility of getting like Laura has and getting some stupid for your hit points.
Yeah, I think I rolled 12 on my first
Aye.
roll. It's all been high and good, so that's good.
Okay. Well,
It was nearly double mine.
I'll stand behind you then.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, that is the point of the barbarian. Stand behind it, run away.
Me all. Yes,
So-
although I did get sneak attacked by a snake, so
Yeah.
you know.
because it was quite surprising.
Snick.
Snick. So, with all that said and done, we should probably talk about who is supporting us in this stream, because I just remembered that's the thing that we need to do now. We
Not
are.
me.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at you, so I thought it was being handed over to you.
I was looking around. We are proudly supported by Gainty, a provider of gaming-related artwork, sundry goods, candles, accessories,
Nerd
all sorts of
stuff.
fun stuff. Ross is wearing one of their shirts,
Yes.
a lovely little druid shirt, and he has his
Ah,
Gainty dice box.
I came prepared today. I don't
well
have.
done.
I did want to use all of it up in one go, so I'm saving it. It's tough.
That's all right. Am I going to say? Someone else talk about Gainty for a second. What's I trying
Gainty is great. We've also got art prints from there. I've got panda dice, which you won't be able to see from this distance, but they are green and have cute little pandas in them. You definitely can't see.
my camera.
Yes, cute little pandas inside the dice.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember they were like a mystery pack or they were kind of end of the line, but they're super heckin' cute.
Yeah, Gainty do
They still don't
dice.
work well.
Well, a lot of their dice, they do like a 3 for 2 on their dice sets. So you can go on there, you can get a bunch of different dice sets. But if you go onto there, make sure you use the affiliate link for us, gainty.co.uk/eat crit survive, or use the discount code eatcritsurvive at checkout to get yourself 5% off. We get a commission, but 5% off is pretty good. Don was looking at some of the notebooks that they do.
Yes. Yeah, they're very nice, and also their t-shirts.
Yeah,
Yes.
their shirts are great. But some of the artwork on there is very metal. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
It is
Although-
really like
I have just been to London Comic Con and spent a lot of money, so it might be a while before I can afford to actually buy
Next
stuff.
month's paycheck.
it's the what is it, the 3 owlbears one that you really want?
3 hour bears.
Because it's like classic American truck driver, or is it a bit more like hippie sort of?
Yeah, more.
Well, it's got an owlbear, it's got one that's just sort of staring off into the middle distance, one that's also going, and then one that's just looks like it's about to
It's
hit your
typical-
face.
It's typically like the ones where people have those t-shirts but with like wolves on them
Yeah,
or something like that.
but
Right, is
they
it,
have got
what is
different-
it, redneck? I can't remember what style of people wear it, but like it's either hippie or rednecks. I can't remember which.
That's a very distinct.
I said
Yes.
it's very different.
People
Hippie
don't
rednecks.
self-identify as rednecks, mostly.
No, that's a stereotype we give them. So
I don't know. We've got
mean-
at least one song in our plays that says I'm a redneck woman. So
yes, true.
thanks, Officer Gal, for putting and Ross for putting in that link in the chat. Say that's
No
thanks,
problem.
Uncle Louise, for us. No, but there you go. You can follow the affiliate link and get some cool gear and stuff. My maximum yardage
Says rude.
says rude.
Why is that rude?
What was rude?
Why are we rude? Who's rude?
Who's sexually rude in the last 5 seconds?
Redneck, I suspect. I
Oh.
mean, there is a delay between us going out.
Yeah,
to be fair,
yeah, it's
so-
all Laura's fault.
Yeah.
There we go.
At one point, did I ever say it was a bad thing? No, it was just a term to call a collective group of people that might
Laura,
wear owlbear
Stop
t-shirts.
digging.
Gainty do not sponsor that opinion.
Or any of our opinions, really.
No, they
No,
don't.
they don't sponsor anything.
They have their own opinions. It's the fridge mumble.
Oh, I was going to say, is that coming from
Everyone's
computer?
duck except Laura.
Oh
Yeah,
god!
Gainty have unleashed the
The
bees of
drones,
doom.
the drones are coming out.
So,
The electronic kraken.
with
Give the DM ideas.
Oh,
Kraken 2 electrical levers.
at least steampunk campaign.
Oh, steampunk kraken.
That'd be cool. A steampunk
I mean, you did fight a
campaign.
clockwork dragon in the
Oh,
previous
yeah, that's
campaign.
true.
Early on, but still.
Hmm.
I don't know.
A much more fight is the right verb for that.
Run away from that one. Yeah.
Wandered into its mouth.
No. All right. So, with that said and done, let's begin
Yes.
tonight's session. Where we had last left off, this collective group of individuals had come together and had made their way north, leaving the town of Sevenholme and a quest to create a new town and city, new settlement for the people to utilize and to generally just expand in this new age of mortals. Having spent the night on top of a plateau and seeing the great tower of the Keep of Durundesh, you saw a very cool statue.
Yeah.
Named a griffin.
Damn straight.
Found the funicular railway.
Oh yeah.
And ran away from a cave drake.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
then
some
found
of you
something
did.
else.
Stabbed by a snake.
Got stabbed by a snake. You were attacked when you were looking at some of the mechanical mechanisms left over from the previous world of existence, the technology that was used to open the gates of the locks of this canal system that was bringing water uphill. You then continued onwards to what was known as the Northern Falls, Grand Duchy of the Northern Falls. There you go, that's the word I was looking for. When you arrived in the vicinity, you found the forking of 3 rivers that came together to create a mile-wide expanse that led to a wall, which was separating from the city.
A big
and the
wall.
cliffs. As you climbed the wall, you had a look, and Elijah and Klaus looked over the wall and saw a vast, swirling whirlpool that was creating a sort of almost gravitational force that pulled in the water that was in the falls, and the shard of land that was sticking out, the remnants of what was left of the civilization that was here before. You then climb down and realise you can't see the whirlpool from this side of the wall because it's on the other side.
Can I see the whirlpool? No.
You kind of realise he did it stupid.
It's one of those, as soon as he said it, you went,
Yeah,
No.
that makes no sense.
But as you had decided to found a wood and some bricks around here.
No sheep.
And
No sheep, but you found some cow cows.
Canal cows.
No.
You
Canal cows.
decided that here would be a spot that you would build the first stage of a settlement before you would explore further. So with that in mind, we reached the next level, so we're now level 3.
Yes.
And we are at the point of effectively downtime for the next at least the next couple of weeks. There's a period where some things are going to be happening. So it is up to you guys to decide what that is going to be. Once you've had your day's rest or your night's rest for the previous one, you can come back to consciousness.
I want to do something in the middle of the night.
Sure, what would you like to do?
I want to. Can you hear, like, of course you can hear the falls and
You
everything.
hear the falls,
kind of.
yes. It's
Yeah.
muted behind the wall because of the thickness of it, but you can hear the falls.
and aren't
Well-
we a few miles away?
You are a couple of miles south of the walls,
Okay.
where the
How long?
forest is.
Does it take to walk up to the wall?
20 minutes, about half an hour.
Can I walk up to the wall?
Yeah.
I can't. Okay, so the noise just keeps me away. I'm going to walk up to the wall because my curiosity. I really want to look over the wall,
Okay.
but I couldn't climb like you guys. So
Yep.
But there's like there was like handholds and things.
There's
so-
sort of handholds where bricks have been dislodged and things have been sort of slammed into the wall, so you are able to. It's not a smooth surface; you are able to climb it.
I want to climb it.
Okay, make an athletics check just for fun.
Just for fun. This is not good.
I mean, you're
We're all gonna
Not with your dice.
find him dead at the bottom of the wall.
15.
15, okay. Easy enough, even in the dark, without dark.
I don't have dark
yeah,
vision.
that's what I was pleased by. But yes, let's try to climb this
I
thing
can
at
take a
night.
torch. I have a
And
torch
hold
And hold it wide. Or
Yeah,
how?
in your mouth.
in my teeth.
You're not Loxodon.
In my teeth.
You. Luckily, there is sufficient moonlight
Thank you.
to allow you to climb here. However, the moonlight is on the northern side because you're on the southern hemisphere. So
Can you see it from the northern side of the wall?
you are able to climb up the wall
Oh God.
and make your way up to the top. The moonlight is shining down and you can see the sea below. It takes you a little while to climb up, but you are able to look out and see this vast expanse of sea and the swirling white crest waters of this whirlpool that then just sinks into nothingness.
How is the weather? Is it kind of quite calm? Is it a bit stormy? Is it a bit just kind of crashing?
It's clear at the moment, but there are wisps of cloud that are slowly gathering across. And you sort of look over to the over to the west, and you can see that the clouds are starting to blow in a little bit. It's starting to look dark and grey. But the moonlight of the 3 moons is strong. It's giving this nice light.
Can I? What is the top of the wall actually like? Is it like flat? Am I going to fall over the edge?
It's flat. It's flat. There is a shallow sort of waist high wall
Okay.
on what would have been the inside of the wall.
Okay. Is there anything that I can kind of? I don't want to sit on the edge of the wall, but I want to sit, but still be able to see the water.
You can lean against the crenellations on the south side of the wall. Sort of like prop your back up against it to look out.
Okay. I'm going to sit and I'm going to take everything in.
Okay.
Wait for those clouds to come over.
And so sit there and watch. You feel the wind just sort of slowly starts to pick up. You are a good 3
I'm going to
feet.
meditate a bit. I've never done it before, but I feel like right now I need to do some meditating.
You're just taking in everything that's here. You are
Yes.
concentrating, focusing, contemplating your place in this spot high above that swirling morass and abyss of nothingness that is below. The wind is picking up. You are 300 feet off the ground here, and the cliff does fall like another kilometre.
Oh dear.
Another good 1,000 feet or so below. So it is quite a way down if you were to fall off. But there's a pool that you could, there's a pool on the inside, but it's
I'm
quite
not going
different.
to maybe sit on this floor and just kind of take everything in whilst kind of also every now and then just kind of looking at the whirlpool, because this is quite overwhelming.
It's huge, yeah. It's
Yeah.
vast. But as you're sort of staring into the yawning moor, the clouds start to cross the moonlight and starts to bring darkness as it does. As those clouds sort of darken, you sort of stare at the swirling mass of water, and it's almost hypnotic to you.
Mhm.
You slowly step forward, almost unbidden, until your knees hit that safety wall. As you look, those clouds darkening around you, you suddenly hear a crash of thunder, which does wake the rest of you up.
I'm back to sleep.
And then lightning begins to streak across the sky. And the rain begins to fall in sheets at first. But as it does, you start to see it often just sort of being drawn towards the whirlpool, just swirling around. The winds pick up around it.
My hair's doing a great
It looks great.
commercial. It's fantastic. Yeah.
You begin to feel the pull of the sea. That thrashing of the rain against your skin, every droplet impacting and then ricocheting, vaguely going towards the ocean. The cold of everything that's going on just sinking into the body, just sapping the strength away from your body. You would normally feel that, but you feel somewhat invigorated. So if there is a deep passion that is stirring within you, just something building, swelling, crashing. As it builds, you feel the increase in the electricity in the air, the static that starts to build. As it does, you feel the hair on your arms start to stand up. You feel the hair of your mane just sort of begin to just rise. A bolt of lightning strikes down, hitting one of the towers to your right. As it arcs from there, you feel the electricity surging from your body, starting to just crackle, spark. Draw your weapon. And just watch as the energy is channeled from your body into the hills. And it just starts to crackle and surge. You take it in your hands. Put one foot up on the safety wall.
Oh.
Then the second foot.
Oh.
You look down into the pool of water that is below you, because there is effectively an infinity pool below you.
Don't you wave?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And you feel the passionate energy that resides within you, that build of electricity once again. You take the blade and the hammer end, and you just bring it back over your heads. Jump. You bring it down, straight down into water. And as you bring the hammer impacting into water to break the surface tension, you hear a slam. There's a discharge of electricity that just arcs out of the water as you land. Just watching as there's slight steam coming off this water. And you just land there for a second, the electricity just arcing its way about you. The water then just comes back in, surrounding your feet. You take no damage, but you have landed on the other side of the wall now.
Great.
But you feel that power.
Okay.
Then you can't figure out how to
Yeah,
get
I'm
back
like,
up the other side.
how do I get back?
You're able to climb back up the other side. This side, actually, there are more ladders and things that have been engraved onto it, because this is the defender's side of the wall. So it is, have preparations for this sort of thing for people being able to get up. So it's easy enough for you to get up. And in fact, you actually notice from this side, admittedly with limited light, there are some stairs that
How fabulous.
zigzag their way up the inside of the wall, as well as it getting wider either side of the gate. So sort of maybe 500 feet or so beyond the edge of the gate, you do see the wall does get wider. So it is a bit thicker either side.
Oh, as in kind of as it comes round.
Yeah, so you've got the sort of the gate, and then at the sort of the general walkway that goes across it, it's maybe 10 feet across, 10, 15 feet or so. But then when it gets beyond that, maybe on 500 feet, it then gets much wider. You can't tell how much wider from where you are, but you can tell that the wall does get thicker the further away from the gate.
So there could be an inside.
Interesting.
Can I see anything that would lead inside?
Not from where you are. You're at the bottom.
Oh, I thought I started climbing.
Climbing the stairs, but you're just sort of taking in the fact that as you're going, you can see it getting wider at a distance.
Okay.
At this point, for the rest of you, it is thrashing it down with rain. Although you have got some sort of rudimentary shelter, because you've sort of set up camp by the edge of the forest, but it is not pleasant for your campsite.
Not what we can do about.
Hide in the forest.
There's a lot. No, as everyone points out that hiding under trees in a lightning storm is a bad idea.
Once very low.
Being under lone trees in a lightning storm is a bad idea. In the forest.
Forest
is
is
bad.
probably okay.
Just on the edge. Okay.
Klaus is going to walk
Where's
the opposite way, slightly further away from the forest, and just go. Just lie on the floor.
In the rain.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you were trying to drink.
Elijah's just in his tent.
Stupid.
Absolutely hesitant. I'll just. So if I get to the top of the wall, can I see any
You go
entrance?
across to one of the towers. You go a bit further across the towers to a place of shelter. Sort of wide,
Yeah, I might
square
just wait,
towers.
trying to climb down this
That'd
other
be a good
side.
idea.
Yeah.
You go to one of these towers and you find that there are trapdoors that lead down into the floor.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, absolutely go down.
Okay, you go down. It's pitch black. There's no light in here.
Well, shit.
As soon as you open it, you go, oh, can't see nothing.
Can I see? So before I go down it with the hatch open, I can't see anything.
No, there is no light source at the moment.
Okay, in which case I wouldn't have gone down it. Can I just hide in the tower for now until it kind of stops
Yeah.
raining? Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
I ain't going down into a black hole that I can't see. At least do that during the daytime.
When you can't see.
Well, you still can't see.
Yes, but
things might be dry and I could light a torch.
All right. Next morning comes. The storm has eased, but it is still raining, a bit miserable. You all wake up and you notice that you are -1 Cassian.
Oh, where's he gone?
Yeah, where's Cassian? Did you say anything to anyone?
Good.
Any clues?
What didn't tell me, but I wouldn't worry about it. It's probably they're probably shop at any point now.
Well, maybe, but we should still try and find out what's happened.
Probably
I
chopping
would-
a tree down somewhere.
I would like to see if I can see any tracks that might indicate where Cassian
Make
was.
a survival check.
That'd be interesting after a night of heavy rain.
Yeah, it was too heavy. All the tracks have gone. 6.
Oh, wow.
The night of heavy rain has washed away tracks, if there were any. The ground is pretty solid around here generally, so
No, the rain's washed away all tracks.
yeah, sure.
I will listen for the sound of a tree being chopped.
Listen. But there's no one there to hear the sound of a tree falling.
Oh, how bad.
You can't hear anything.
No.
Okay, anyone got any ideas? Because that's me how it's done. We could. Well, hang on.
To be honest.
You can walk up things.
I can. Well observed.
Could you go up a tree or something and see if you can spot them from a higher point?
I can try. I look for a nearby tree that's relatively tall.
There's a couple of trees that go above the general canopy there.
I walk up a tree.
You walk up the tree.
I look round.
Make a perception check.
7.
7. You see no Cassian.
I can barely see the wood, let alone Cassian.
Rain in your eyes. Also, still slightly conscious of the fact that there is still a little bit of lightning happening.
Yeah.
And you're in a tree.
I get down tree quickly. Couldn't see him.
And, I hope he's okay.
It's
To
not-
use a phrase that I've heard many a time, he's big enough and ugly enough to look after himself. I think.
Beautiful, thank you.
He's pretty beautiful.
Thank you.
Old enough, not good enough. But there we go.
Big enough for
Grit,
Doctor.
you were going to say?
yeah, I was just going to, it's not unusual, really. Take care of himself. It's fine.
Winston says, we could always go and check out the wall. He may have gone that way.
What? But he can't climb the wall.
I mean, there were handholds. He may have tried it.
And night in the middle of a storm? That wouldn't be very sensible.
Sounds like something he'd probably do.
Yeah.
That best idea we've got. There's another high point you could look for him from.
It is indeed. Right. Are we all going or just some of us?
I think it might not all of us. Might as well.
I go over to Elijah's
go on.
tent. Are you coming?
No. Why would I do that? It's warm here. And dry.
Right, okay. And just drop the flap and walk off.
Bye. Here from inside the tent.
No.
Yeah.
I think you said before he's not really a morning person.
There are so many things wrong with that sentence.
All right, make your way to the bottom of the wall. By this point, you have come to consciousness as well,
Yep.
and you can lift up the hatch to sort of have a look down there. Still can't see anything because there's not no windows or anything. So
How's that? Can I light a torch? Do I have another torch on me?
I don't know. Do
I
you?
have a torch. I could have
You
put
have
it
one?
out before I climbed the wall and carried it with me.
You could have done. I assume you just had your pack with you.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, probably.
Take
Or at
torch.
least kind of my main stuff's back at the thing, but I probably took a few things with me
Yeah,
just to
that's
be
fair.
able to see stuff. Can I light it, please?
You can.
I do have a
Light.
tinderbox with me as well. I want to go down. I want to look at
That's not the
things.
time for dating.
It's on Tinder box.
Tinderbox. Yeah, why didn't they call it a tinderbox?
Because that's longer. Shorter names are better.
Gotcha.
All right, you lift up the hatch and you look down it. There is no ladder or anything to get down, so you just have to drop down a hole. It's about 10 feet.
That's
Okay, well, yeah. Kind of.
Fall down, have a look. There are cobwebs everywhere.
Oh no, there's more spiders.
Regular cobwebs, just like normal spiders.
I'm still gonna pull my axe out, my hammer axe. I need to get a better name for this. I haven't decided yet.
Hacks.
A hax.
You pull out your weapon.
Axer. I pull out my weapon.
Bob.
I'll look around, kind of probably burning away some of the cobwebs, just try and get through.
Okay. Away some of the cobwebs and just make your way wandering through.
Big spider comes at me.
This wall seems to be brass. Cassian is never going to be able to see. Too many cobwebs to see. Too much fire to see.
Oh no. Too ready to see. Too much wall to see.
You
It's going to be wall-eyed.
it seems that as you're sort of walking through and you're doing an investigation check actually just for the
Oh, you're actually making me work for this. What? I'm 13.
13, okay. It seems to be that this wall, as you're sort of walking through the various rooms and having a look around, it seems to be that this was a barracks, effectively, that was used as part of the defence. A lot of the barracks are on the sort of the inside of the wall, so to speak, as in they're on the inside of the city, or city side. Because of the pure size of this wall, kind of deduced that they needed to have troops stationed within it so that they could come and support should they be required to. Unlike in previous ruins that you've come across, there are no bodies that have been long left. So it seems that when the incident happens and the calamity that's caused the reset, everyone that was here wasn't in here. They were either up on the top or they were elsewhere.
Everyone's left.
But you do manage to find some old pieces of armor that's sort of rusted away, and some various other bits and pieces that are just like moldy food and beds and stuff. It's just all horrible stuff. They do have some really old tomes as well, but there's a lot of moisture has gone into it, so it's pretty unusable. As you sort of go around, you find stairs that lead right down to floor level, to ground level, and some which go below into the foundations. And as you're sort of exploring, you sort of open the various doors. You do come across what looks to be what language should it be? Sorry.
Common Dwarvish.
Dwarvish, okay. You recognise this Dwarvish, it's on the writing on the doors, translates loosely into construction core.
Yeah.
Because again, it seems that the wall being as vast as it was, there were construction materials that were kept pretty much on every floor in at various points so that they could make repairs as necessary. So you find them there. And these repairs, because of the nature of the materials that we've used for it, they were well secured and actually have lasted surprisingly well. There are things like chisels and just sort of general masonry supplies. There are hoists that are substantial ropes that are put into place. Small hand carts that can move stone about. More significantly, based on hearing the conversation that they bring bricks stored on the the eastern side of this the river. The western side of the river. There is what seems to be a binding agent, something similar to cement.
Right. Ooh.
Modern day cement, something that's used to connect the bricks. Water, yes. Something akin.
Gorilla glue.
Duct tape.
But there's plenty of these supplies as you sort of just come across them. The rest of you down at the bottom have no idea where Cassian is.
Mhm.
All you know is Cassian isn't where you are.
Right, shall I go and see if I can see him from atop?
If you wouldn't mind, yeah.
Winston comes up with you, flies up. You see no sign of him from the top where you are.
Anything?
You hear no response.
Can you imagine if I responded though?
Yeah.
that was Cedric.
Yeah.
Here whispering.
Okay.
Do you think he needs our help?
Not be you, John. You're the only one there.
Maybe. I mean, if he's not up on top of the wall, and if he was out in the country, in the sort of open country, we've probably been able to see him from the high vantage points. So maybe he has gone into the forest bit after all.
Can I see any signs of Cassian from up here?
Big perception check. Winston will also have a.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
7.
Also 7.
Oh,
yes.
Cassian was never here.
Two of you look around and you go left. You sort of go and have an explore that way. You find nothing there because you went right.
Nope, he's not here. Maybe he died.
I hope not. That'd be rather inconvenient.
Also, I mean, you'd think we'd find his body. It's
How
not
did you get up here?
He climbed.
Oh, sorry.
He used his stone cutting to listen to the voices within and then
Yes.
turns his back.
Vibrations in the wall.
Oh. Back down.
I suppose I might go the other way and have a look and see if there's anything that way.
It was pointless. Why would you?
Well, I know.
Everyone knows you go left at every opportunity.
Well, yes, but what we know is that we wouldn't leave the campsite in the middle of the night. So
That's also
maybe
true.
he just does the opposite of what's supposed to do. We'll check to the right, and we'll go to that tower, and we'll see what.
Very well.
You see the two of them go back across the river and the portcullis and go across to one of the towers. Well, you see a hatch that is open.
Oh, yeah.
He wouldn't have gone. No, he wouldn't he?
I
Into a
believe so.
thing that he can't see in.
I can smell burned. Sticks his head down. Yes, there's maybe burned webs, so he is probably here.
Right. Okay.
Winston just sticks his head over the wall. Yes, he's up here. Somewhere, probably.
Do you need our help to search?
No, we'll be fine.
Yay, adventure.
Unless you want their help.
I mean, let me put it to you this way. I climb in the hole.
Winston just hops down into the hole.
Actually, as I do, I want to try something.
Okay.
I want to try and basically swing inside the hole,
Okay.
kind of feet to the ceiling.
long trousers.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Make a dexterity check.
I don't need to.
No. There's a reason I'm asking.
Fair.
Check.
Check.
Yes.
6.
6. As you take a step, you feel your feet. You go, yeah, I'm confident about this. You feel yourself swing down. Oh shit! You forgot how wide the thing is. You just it's the edge of the trapdoor. You take 3 points of bludgeoning.
I look at Winston and say, "We'll never speak of this again."
I may want to do something about the cut on your forehead.
Well,
Terrific.
I drop down.
Okay. Winston just falls down. Monk fall.
Featherfall.
Featherfall.
Yeah.
True.
Feathers.
Two of you look around. Both of you have dark vision, so you can see.
Yes.
We go.
I have dark vision.
Both of you, I think, have superior dark vision.
I don't.
Or superior dark vision.
You see 120 feet.
See twice.
It's like dark vision, but better.
Twice as good.
Drow have.
I say drow and owls.
Oh.
That's about it.
Drown owls.
How about drowls?
A drow.
Owls.
It's a thing that you use for digging the garden,
I
isn't
was
it?
going to say, yeah.
Okay, so two of you
Or
sort of
little wooden pegs.
the two easily enough. The two of you are able to follow the burnt.
There's nothing
Down.
There is nothing interesting in there. I
Get
promise you.
Off, go down.
Maybe I should have brought an orange bag.
No.
I think
Just-
dogs are supposed to be covered.
They are
She just wants attention, that's all. Carry on.
easily enough. The two of you are able to.
What do you want? What do
Attention
you
and a
want?
spotlight.
I'd say attention and possibly a pea.
What do you want? Fine, go that way. Go that way.
Tilly, off.
Come on, off you go. Off.
Only chat can see. Ross is not quite sure what's happening because the angle he can see.
I'm not watching on stream.
Okay.
Sit there. What do you want?
Slight delay.
Never work with children and animals, they say.
Can't be on the sofa. You come down here. Okay. Yes, down here. Good.
No, not
on-
up there. I
D&D
could-
dog. Can
I
you
could see where the
sit
cogs
on
were
the
going.
bench? You sit on the bench.
No.
No.
Laura.
Off.
She doesn't like it anyway. Come on, you get off.
It's a dining table.
So Heights with Heart of Cassim, who's played by a dog.
Yeah. No. Good girl.
Give it a few seconds.
Carry
So
on.
anyway, me and Rinsome.
Yeah, easily managed to follow the trail of destruction and find Cassian,
Oh, hi guys.
who is stood at this door
With the
looking
dog.
at the various building supplies.
Guys, I found stuff. Who even knew this was in the wall?
I mean, maybe the people that were here before.
Well, they're no use to us right now.
This is true. Well done.
But like, there's loads of stuff in here we can use if we want to start building. This is great. I think this is a sign.
I have one question which you may have considered,
Maybe.
probably haven't. How do we get it out?
All right, mountain dog.
Oh,
Carry it. Are you okay there, hon?
some of the stuff that we're looking at,
Yes.
how does it measure in relation to the hole that we climbed through?
Capable to get it in and out. And from the top of some of the towers, I think from the inside, there were gables. So you surmise there probably is at some point there are doors that open for people to then for them to lift supply up.
But we couldn't, there's no, the only entrances we know of are from the top of the wall. There's no like doors that I saw along my way that lead out, or windows slightly lower down.
No, there are platforms that have opened out like windows so that they could load goods
Yeah.
up to pulley up and down.
Did
You
I-
haven't come across any. of
Right,
those
yeah,
yet.
that's what I was asked. Yeah. Okay. Well, But we could see them from the outside of the wall.
Yeah, the outside of the wall you can see.
Yeah,
They're on the interior of the wall, so pointing towards the
See.
yeah, towards the sea.
Oh, okay. There are ways to do this, and I think it's worthwhile that we give it a go. We've got all that brick out there. I want up for the challenge of building a raft to get that brick over. It would be great. We'll have plenty of resources and materials. We won't just have to build with wood, but actually start something solid here. I think, well, I'm gonna pick up. What would I need to use this system?
Well, at the moment you would need rope and you would need a platform.
I'm gonna pick up a load of rope.
Okay, you get a load of rope.
Load of rope. Lots of rope. Okay, you just okay, that's fine. That's fine. She can do that. That's fine.
Get a blanket bit.
Yeah. I get a load of rope and did you guys see anything that looked like platforms when you were coming down?
No, we were following a path of destruction.
Pretty sure the wall's still standing. Just you didn't see what I did last night. It was super duper cool. Anyway, okay. I will gather as much rope as I can, and I will go and find a platform to try and
Make an investigation check.
Yay!
Winsome will help you.
Advantage.
Sure.
15.
15. Okay. Between the two, you manage to find. You don't find necessarily a platform that they would normally use, like a pallet that they could have put ropes into. What you do find is a disused bed, which the wood is surprisingly well maintained. Seems to have been, okay over the years. Between you and Winston, you are able to tie various lengths of rope together, use some of the manufacturing. You manage to find what are effectively cables rather than just rope. But you are able to feed this cable underneath the beds, and in such a way that Winston can then fly it up, put it into the pulley system, and bring it down.
Through the trap door.
No, up one of the side doors. He can fly up and attach it to one of the gables. That has a pulley. It's not particularly well maintained. You might need to get Grit to have a look at it. But he can loop the cable around it, bring it down. So that
if that's the case, if I think Grit will be good up here, I might just kind of be like, is Grit down there
Yeah.
with Zarya?
Yes.
Might need them.
Flies up and
Be good to get all the help we can
Grit,
get.
it's Aria.
Yeah.
Yes.
You come up, we might need some smithing skills.
Okay.
Do you want to just try climb, I guess?
Yeah. If Cassian can do it, I'm sure we can.
Both make athletics checks.
Oh boy. Athletics.
Yes.
Thank goodness athletics and not just strength. 8.
8. Ross?
19.
19. Okay.
So I've rolled 2 dice, and both times I rolled a 3. It's going well.
Grit being Grit being Grit means the sort of the physique of a blacksmith and such. It's quite stocky, he's quite flexible, he's quite good around stone, quite nimble, able to make their way up. You're not used to climbing whilst wearing your armor.
Yes.
Which is a little hindering. So you start to climb up, you find it really is restrictive in your way of climbing, so you climb back down, take off your armor, and then climb up. So you are currently not wearing your armor.
Okay.
Your armor class is 10 plus your dexterity modifier.
So 10.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice.
But the two of you do make it to the top when some says, we found some building supplies.
Bye bye.
It's closed
Oh,
every
Dog got
single
one
That's
end
good,
and
but have you found-
the other.
We found-
menagerie.
We have found
Cassian.
Cassian. Cassian found some building supplies, and we were thinking we're going to probably try and use them to create something. But in order to get them up rather than just carry them out. We thought we'd make use of the pulley system that they had here before. But as you can see, just on points up at the pulley wheels, it is rusted and needs some repairs.
Oh,
Okay, let's have a look.
I
Um,
have a very easy solution for this. I will touch it if I can get to the.
Make another athletic check. You're going to have this time. You're going to have to climb the tower to get to the cable arm that sticks out from the tower.
Yeah, sure. 5.
Oh dear.
You are not. This tower is a lot smoother. You're not really able to get a good grip and climb up on this.
Well, if I can get near it, I can. I've got some abilities that I can use to probably clean it off and make it a little bit more usable.
I struggled to climb with my arm on, but now I've taken that off, it seems to go a bit better. I'll see if I can get to it.
Okay.
Athletics check.
Hey, 18.
Okay, you're able to climb up. Make your way up to the cable arm, and you're so there. You do have the cable has been sort of hung over the top of it, so you could try and climb that if you wanted to, Grit.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a go. Yeah, let's get up there.
Okay.
You want another athletics for that?
Athletics, just for fun.
That's slightly better. 14.
Okay, easy enough. You're able to sort of shimmy your way up the cable and get to where the pulley is supported. Well, there with Isaria on the gable end.
Inspect the pulley and see.
Carry on.
So, is there anything that is immediately obvious to me that I can do to try and fix this and get it in better condition?
It's rusted, and it's the free flowing aspect is sort of seized up with rust and grime over the years.
Yeah,
As a lot of salt air has gotten into it and has caused quite a severe bit of corrosion.
Okay, so sort of try and ship some of the rust off.
I think I have something for this, and I rummage through my backpack, and I'll just pull out a fluid and pour it on. But basically, I'm casting mending.
Okay, yeah, you managed to cast mending on it, and it does seem to fix the patch of the rust, and the pulley seems to. Now you're hanging onto it. There's not much weight on the other side.
Yeah.
As soon as you have fixed it, you go. Just start pulling.
I'm going to try and grab the cable.
Oh, make it okay. Make a dexterity check.
It's gonna hurt.
Dexterity check.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, 14.
You grab onto it before it goes too far. Now make a strength saving throw just to see if you can hold on to it.
Just pull your arms off.
14.
14. Okay. You manage to grab onto it, and it does. You stop it before it gets too far. You do take, however, 6 points of fire damage because of cable against raw skin. It's just pure friction. But Grit,
Are you okay, Grit?
Yeah. Thank you.
That's okay, but could you climb?
Oh yeah, get off. Get off. Yeah.
It's kind of hurt my hands.
you swing off and jump onto the platform. Yeah.
Ah.
Thank you.
Oh.
We shouldn't be encouraging this.
I
shouldn't.
But she wants something, so I'll keep doing this until we sort it out. Carry on.
Take a break short.
Yeah. Hello.
Anyway,
Did they survive?
Just about.
Yes.
It's normally Luke looking at the camera going, save me. Well, I think this week it's me.
it's also Tilly. It's Tilly going, hello.
No, that's not save me. That's give me attention.
we'll say for the sake of expediency, and so that Tom's got something that you can do at some point.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. This is great.
You have figured out how this system works, and you have got the counterbalance so that you've got something that you can pull it down and lift up supplies to the top. It does not. The gable end does not stick out the other side. It seems that whatever gable was here was snapped off during the war or whatever. So getting it back down again might be a bit tricky. However, it is with some help. You could carry it down. Winston could fly some of it down. It's.
Well, I was going to say, is there actually look like there's enough material here that we could build our own pulley system or something like that to then lower on the other side? So we get up to the top of the wall, and then we transport it into another pulley system.
You certainly could try. You would probably need to get some wood from the forest to build a frame to support the system, and you could probably go and salvage another pulley wheel from one of the other gables.
Does it seem like there's enough material here to make that worthwhile doing for like longer term?
There is a lot of these materials scattered throughout the. From what Cassian has seen, there were some of these supplies available on every floor that he explored at various points across this wall. So it seems like because this wall is sort of from end to end, it would look like it'd take about a day to walk from end to end.
Yeah.
Pretty substantial wall. So there's going to be a lot of this stuff around here.
Even if we then transport it later down the line to wherever else we might go, this is probably worth us getting resources off this.
Yes.
Good shortcut. Why don't we build something so we can consistently lower it down on the other side?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So for the sake of expediency, again, we'll say that for the next day and a half is spent with you chopping down trees and shaping them, following sort of Grit's instructions to sort of build this structure out as needed. Grit, you and Winsome go and salvage materials that are needed for the pulley system to get it on that side. And Isaria, you help construct the platform and the A-frame that's needed, sort of helping Cassian. Elijah and Klaus, you help transport stuff up and down because you've got the spider side, so it's more easier for you.
As you say, it's been a day. It takes a day and a half. Does that mean we get a long rest partway through?
You get a long rest, yes. You finished the long rest by the time you started the session. So.
Yeah.
Yes, but
he's taken 6
some of us
hours
have taken
down
damage
since
since then.
You probably use a lay on hands as well to just sort of heal all the skin up a little bit, just because it was.
But how can he? Because he's in his hands.
I mean, it's like, I have feather falling, but I never got to trigger it before the rope was grabbed, so we could have.
I didn't know that. I still don't.
Nope.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day and a half, you have fully Tilly.
Carry on.
By the end of the full day, you have managed to build this system so that you have got something to lower supplies down. It extends far enough to get past the slight slope at the bottom of the wall on the southern side. And you have an efficient means of getting goods up and over and back down the other side of the wall. You've also configured it in such a way that you could use it as a lift for people, so that those that are not natural climbers are able to get themselves up and down. You have effectively got 2 platforms that can just sort of counterbalance the weights.
Cool.
Can we use that to get the bricks from the other side of the river?
No,
Not in this configuration.
not the way that you've got it. You've sort of built it out of a tower that's sort of got everything in place. So,
Understood.
however, you have got plenty of the way that you've been cutting out the trees. The lumber that you have gotten, you were preparing for the construction of a raft. So that could be your next day's worth of project. Whilst you are doing this,
Don't eat the dice, traitor.
whilst you've been doing this, Winston decided that he was going to return back to Sunhome to report on the findings of the fact that you have created a settlement to let people know what's going on. And Elijah volunteers to go with him. which makes
Of
Winston look
course.
very unhappy. But
Yeah.
Of course. Leaving just as the hard work is starting.
Yeah.
well, I'm an architect, so I'll give you some nice pretty pictures to work from.
I thought he was the art. I thought you were the artist.
Elijah.
No, I'm speaking. You remember when?
Oh yes.
I'm an artist. I'm not. I don't draw pictures of buildings and things.
Cassian just has a confused look on his face, like I'm an artist, but he doesn't.
Winston says, we'll take the train back, and if we have some additional hands coming back, I might chart out the bit in between on the railway from that space.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you. Good luck to you as well.
Thank you.
Go for a hug and just whisper. Try to keep Elijah from just murdering everything he comes across, please.
Yes, I shall try.
Hopefully, by the time you come back, we'll have a good few places for people to stay.
Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing where we go afterwards.
Me too. Good. Yeah.
Excellent. Right.
Anyway, back chop down some trees. See you later.
Bye. Winston and Elijah depart and set off doing whatever they do for the next few days. So they go off. What are you guys going to be doing, for those of you that are left behind?
Helping with construction as best as I can,
Okay.
attempting to train Desh to be usable.
over the next week, Dash's growth is explosive.
Yeah, I thought it would be.
You know, it's like seeing a puppy going from sort of this small, and then you sort of look away, and then you look back, and suddenly it's like the size of a Labrador. And then you look away again, and suddenly it's the size of a St. Bernard. So it's just
Cow.
You blink.
Yeah. Over the course of the week, he does turn into the size of a Shetland pony,
Oh.
which does mean he gets hungry.
Yes.
The number of times you have seen him go off and come back with the carcass of a deer
What?
that he has caught himself.
That is Desh, that is bigger than you are. I am confused and impressed all in the same motion.
Yeah. He does go fishing as well. When he's smaller, he fishes, but now that he's gotten to his sort of adolescent size, he has been able to fly and capture deer. He is surprisingly stealthy when he wants to be.
But not when he does that.
No.
No. Oh, it's not as cute. No, he's.
Nice. Yeah, you've lost the baby feathers.
No, you're not coming over, Tilly. No, you can try. You can try. You're going to regret it.
Tilly, off. Get off. Down.
No, stop you up there.
That didn't quite have the desired effect.
It didn't really, did it?
Look at the handling.
This is why I never play druids.
Oh, well, you're lucky there. Just let us sit there and we'll sort her out in a minute. She obviously just wants something.
Make an animal handling check for general training of Desh to make him useful.
Next time. 13? The previous attempt.
Dash becomes a little bit more obedient as he grows up, although he does still succumb to base instincts
Of course he does.
and desires.
He's a teenager.
Yeah. So he does just every so often, if he's really hungry or bored, he will just go off. And then you'll see him later. And then he'll come back and he'll sort of behave for a little bit, and then he'll just do whatever he wants.
Teenager.
Yeah.
The construction of the raft is simple enough. You manage to build it in such a way that instead of having it lashed together with rope, you build it so that there are joists, effectively joints, so that it slots together.
What's this, sorry?
This is
Your
building
raft.
your raft, which makes it a lot more stable and less likely to just fall apart.
And one of the things Isaria does is set up her smith's tools and get a little forge going, so she's able to produce some nails and things to help hold it together, and then start building, making stuff to help with the buildings.
So the creation of a forge does take a little bit of work because you need to be able to build something to get hot enough.
Yeah, it's not a proper smelting thing. It's just enough to get some basic stuff done.
No, you basically build a pizza oven.
Yeah, I was going to say like a stone kiln almost sort of.
It's a stone kiln. You mentioned you were able to get once you've got the raft constructed, you are able to sort of ferry across stone. Use some of that to construct a kiln, so that it is buildable. It takes you a couple of days.
Yeah,
to get all the materials across and to get it set so that it's in a usable state. Grit is able to help with that because it is something that both of you know about.
Yes. Yeah, I've had to smelt my iron from ore. I'd probably be in trouble, but instead of my starting gold, I took a bunch of iron ingots.
There you go.
So I have
that's good.
This way.
Yeah. That's why I made a point of saying in the first session that my pack was heavy and clanky.
Ah.
It's quite significant. Okay. Throughout the forest as well, you find that this forest is pretty full of fruit trees, berry bushes, and wild animals that roam through it. Before Winston left, he was able to advise that it was a pretty wide forest extending out to the cliffs in the east, with a few pockets of lakes near the hills. As Desh has proved that there are deer and wild horses that run around here, each of them with that slightly green and brown dappled coats you saw in the deer much further south. The canal cows, as you come to name them, are completely harmless and seem to not acknowledge the fact that there is potentially a predator here. But they are perfectly happy to sort of roam about. If you want to, you can attempt to try and domesticate them, to train them to use to swim, to pull the raft across. There is sufficient rope for you to harness something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, make an animal handling check for cows.
Cows.
9.
9 is also what the cows say to you. If you try and train, you look like
Is that what they say instead of moo?
Yeah.
9. They sort of stand still as you sort of tie some ropes around them. You look at them and go.
Go. Giddy up.
Smack.
Oh no.
That doesn't, even without your armor, it doesn't hit you. It swings its head around, just sort of leans out to just try and slap you, and you just step back out of the way.
Okay, maybe can't use these beasts of burden yet. Could be
You
a
can spend more time with them if you want to.
We've got a little while.
Depends. No, probably be more useful building stuff.
Okay.
What do you want?
Fritz, is there anything that you wish to do in this time period?
Yeah, but it's going to be a little bit challenging to do. Probably not until we have like a forge going almost a little bit. But that's to be working on my armor. And just adding a few extra features.
Okay.
It's basically going to turn me into a punchy Iron Man.
Yes. Okay, so during the time that you have, you sit down with your armor, you start making some tinkering adjustments to it, and you start getting springs and various bits of ironwork that you had previously fabricated and traveled across with to make it. You had ideas before you left.
Yeah, 100%. It's just
so you'd have these all sort of sketched out, and you've got to the point where you think, okay, I could do this. You're sort of fashioning buckles and such so that they can be doffed and donned quickly. You're you're making the augmentation. It does take you a little while to do so, but you're sort of doing that in the downtime of the field.
I imagine it's more challenging, but not impossible to do it. Was my thought.
Yes, with the forge, when the forge is fully constructed, and you're able to utilize that,
And you have assistance from Isaria.
and you have assistance, then the two of you are able to sort of fashion pieces together, whilst the rest of the party are ferrying stuff across. It's challenging to get the raft across from one side to the other. Eventually, the only way that you can figure out to do it is either have Desh hold a rope and fly across, pulling it,
Yeah.
which doesn't go particularly well,
No.
which means that the only other person that could potentially do that is
No,
you,
no.
walking across the portcullis, pulling it.
Do we have any rope long enough to stretch across?
There's not necessarily rope long enough to stretch across a mile
Yeah.
of river, but there is plenty of rope.
Okay. My thought process was you could run a cable, basically a rope from one side to the other, and then someone could be on the barge pulling it, essentially.
Yeah.
No.
Over a mile is not. It's too wide.
Yes. Fair.
Yeah.
You
We'll throw out in a second.
Yeah.
Okay. For you,
I was gonna say.
you are back in Soho.
I am.
Oh.
You are. I won't do that to Tom necessarily. You are.
No, she's fine.
No!
Oh, she saw what you were doing, you cruel man.
I mean, I was thinking that.
Carry on.
You are taking your sort of daily strolls and walks around the Temple of the Gods. Brother Oswald has spoken to you this morning, and you've had a conversation with him about purpose and what your next steps are and how you could sort of further develop yourself. And it had stemmed to proving yourself to be worthy. It was the same sort of conversation you had before. As you sort of look out, seems one outside of it, and just breathe in the air outside the southern gate of the temple, you see a somewhat familiar figure of the Owlin Winsome, who is sort of making his way into town alone.
Hello.
He spots you as
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Acolyte. Forgive me, I recognise you, but remind me your name? So sorry.
Nod my head understands. No trouble at all. I am palimpsest.
Palimpsest. Thank you. Palimpsest.
Whoa.
Pardon me, Acolyte. Would you happen to know where Brother Oswald is?
Certainly, I believe he's in his garden at the minute. Follow me.
Thank you.
And lead him there.
Okay, you can lead him there. As you sort of make your way sort of through the gardens, Winston looks fidgety, sort of clutching this rolled up scroll that he has, and sort of adjusting it a little bit uncomfortably. As you come across, you see that the brother is having a conversation, and she's stood there with another figure. This figure that you recognise as being Shanda, the human principal cleric. The human in her 50s, black hair with whispers of grey. she is having this discussion. She's talking sort of a hushed conversation with Brother Oswald. To you sort of stand there respectfully whilst they have a conversation, waiting for them to sort of acknowledge. And Oswald turns and sees you. Yes.
Oh.
Forgive me, Brother Oswald. Winsome here asked for you.
Right. Yes, Winsome. Yeah, you're the cartographer that went off, aren't you, for the with the northern investigation, northern excursion? Yes, Brother Oswald, I was. Forgive me. I've been on my travels for quite a while, and I'm due to return back north, having sketched out. And I was wondering if I could perhaps get a blessing from yourself, and something that could protect me and all from Politi's blessing, perhaps, just to help fortify myself for the journey back. I've strange bedfellow that I'm traveling with. Of course, starts to mutter a prayer in Celestial. Chandra is sort of suitably there solemnly, head bowed, nodding as the blessing is made, and adds her own blessing, which is in the name of the Father, in the name of Foss. She looks, as she finishes the prayer, she brings her head up and looks at you. Brother Oswald, weren't you telling me that you had need of a student a student in need of exploring and developing their faith, spreading the faith? Yes, I did. Sure, fine. Yes, if that's where you're going with it. Princess, would you be interested in escorting Winsome here up north and taking the gods with you? Perhaps reminding them reminding the group they are with, or support and providing them with additional belief, so to speak.
I'm certainly willing. That seems a very interesting enterprise. I hope I won't be a burden or slow anyone down.
No. You'll be wonderful company, I'm sure. We can. It's been a while since I've had a chance to discuss the gods with anyone, so it'd be nice to relive some of my learning years, if that is all right with yourself.
Certainly.
Francis. Very well. Do you prefer palimpsest, or would you pal, or
You may shorten it as you
Zest?
wish. Pal is probably
Pal is
preferable
preferable,
to
very well.
zest.
Very well. In which case, if you would like to gather your things,
I
then
certainly will. Brother Oswald, it occurs to me, may I take some seed with me to help in the new settlement?
yes. Go and speak to the Elpadius followers. They will provide you with what you need. If you send them with mine and Principal Chandler's names, then they will provide you what you need.
Certainly.
Good luck. We hope to see you soon.
I'll gather my things together and go and get seed and probably maybe some like root vegetables and stuff.
Yeah, you're able to get seeds.
Yeah.
You're able to get all sorts of produce and rations suitable for about a week's worth of journey. Winsome estimates by the time you get to that point, but you also have sufficient farming resources that are As you're sort of going about, Winsome says that there are plans for a further expedition for people to come and join us in the settlement in maybe 2 months or so. They need to get people together. But once they've done so, then we'll have some. Well, my colleagues have been building something whilst we've been away, so hopefully they'll have something to come to, and then they can get started. So the preparations of received and getting things ready would probably be well received.
Absolutely. Seems a very exciting expedition. I'm looking forward to it.
Has been an adventure.
Excellent.
You head, once you've gathered all your various supplies and you're ready, you are met on the outskirts of town by Elijah, who is a sort of sallow-looking youth. Oh, silly. Okay, sweetie. I'll deal with you in a second.
To join in.
Just also there leaning and just, what does he see, in fact, as you come up?
He sees a young man, not terribly tall, unusual. There aren't many tiefling among the inhabitants of Sevenholm. Palimpsest has dark blue, navy blue skin, almost completely. He has a fairly shaggy mop of blonde hair.
Oh.
And two fairly slender, slightly curved horns that sort of sweep forward. And they are silver in colour, as are his eyes. They are solid silver.
No pupils.
No. Ooh. And he's wearing a monk's habit, and that's like European monk, not D&D monk. So brown homespun, very plain.
Yeah.
And he will have a holy symbol around his neck, and will be carrying his pack and a staff.
Cool.
Nice.
And so over the next week, you will be travelling up with Winsome and this sallow-looking, suave gentleman. And that is where we will take our break, because apparently we need to go and deal with this.
Yeah, this mad papa. Goodness me.
Drama queen.
She is being very strange tonight. Hey,
Yeah, it must be Tom. She's never normally like that.
yeah, obviously.
So we will be back shortly after we have taken a break. So relieve ourselves. We will see you very shortly. Back in a second. And we are back. So we return to the north, where the vast majority of them are. So you have constructed your raft and you have started rowing it across. You have, after several attempts of trying to just pull it across with Desh and with Klaus, it's sort of gone a little bit tedious. So instead you have crafted oars.
Oh, cool.
But well, the canals are quite deep, so it's a little tricky to pole your way across. But you're able to sort of paddle your way across and get over to the other side. You then spend the next day or so getting bricks onto the stone bricks onto the raft, bring it back across, and so on and so forth. It does take a little while to do so. As the end of that week comes, you have your stonework is ready to go and build. So you start to discuss what you're going to build. You also have forge now, which there's a bit of a lag on my camera. That's okay.
Not that much.
No, I was frozen for a second. But you have your forge that has been set up, so you are able to. Well, it's your mini forge. You are able to construct, and it is up to you what you wish to construct. The four of you that are there.
So I'm just taking notes on
Do we
this.
want like a watchtower, something really vision around the area?
Ideally, somewhere for probably just to us to not live,
Just
but
a storehouse.
something that's got living space in it, but to also store things. To be a bit of a base if we ever need to come north again for any reason. I think, anyway.
So maybe like a hall with some rooms coming off it. We could use some for sleeping, use some for storage.
Yeah. Because this could always become, if we make it big enough, it could always become like a bit of a more of a main hall, and the rooms don't necessarily need to be bedrooms or storehouses, but a multi-purpose building that could be changed into different things as time goes on.
Okay, so you're effectively building a longhouse.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So with that in mind, you start chopping down enough trees so that you can start building the framework between Grit and Grit's sort of technical knowledge and abilities and capabilities in these areas, smithing and forging and aspects. The three of you are able to get into a good position where you are confident in the structure that you have built and the materials that you are using and utilizing to build them into the way that you want to build this sort of stone brick house.
Yes.
And with the additional strength of Klaus, then the four of you are able to build quite a, it takes you a better part of a week again to actually build the structure. As you're getting nearer to the end, you sort of go into your rhythm bit, you step away and you start work on the roof. Where you take trees and you basically build effectively a wooden roof without slate or anything on top of it, but it is there to keep things dry. And judging by the way that the weather seems to blow, you build it so that it does resemble the underside of a ship, in that the northern facing point where the winds tend to go, wind will tend to sort of blow from it, then will follow a rather sleek path of least resistance, which means it is less likely to be taken up from underneath and just torn off the house.
Aerodynamic ship.
Yes.
Effectively,
Streamlined, yeah.
The roof is in there.
My house can cut through the wind.
But you are also crafting side grooves that sort of allow the winds to blow over the top, regardless of the direction that it comes into. For that technical aspect, just roll for me this will be dexterity with your carving proficiency. So this is a +5 for you.
4.
Anyone assist?
Or 4.
My proficiency is a +2.
Oh, your dexterity is 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was thinking constitution. I will say you have advantage. You'll be being helped.
So +4. Oh no. 8.
Okay. This is not about your ability to do it, because it is something that you have been trained to do, and it's something that you have been trained to do. This is more about the length of time it takes you to do it.
Okay.
So it takes you significantly longer than you expect, and by the time that they have finished and the roof is ready to go on, you're still barely done.
Oh no.
So the rest of you are able to assist with this, putting those pieces together, and it is suggested that you construct it so that it's got a system that slots in, so that you have the supporting structures will slot in underneath the brickwork, so that it is weighted down and has less maneuver room. So you plane the wood into position so that you just slot it in effectively underneath keystone so that it is locked and rigid. The building itself is about 20 feet across and maybe 40 feet long. So it's pretty substantial, but you have also started building separate rooms on the outside. So you have effectively got, instead of it being smooth, you have got the makings of the start of new walls extending out from it. So you basically left bricks pointed outwards,
Yeah.
so that you could start building off that at a later point,
Yes.
so that people could expand them. But you have effectively built centrally the Great Hall, effectively.
Yeah.
So that there is this 800 square foot of room
Yes.
that you can all shelter in and rest. You have built it so that as you construct, you can build around the forge, so that that can be a secondary room that is built, that it will have that sort of protection on it.
As in that's in the Great Hall, or that's a room off the
That's
side.
so you built it so that when you imagine that the tray is the Great Hall.
Yeah.
You built the forge. You built it so that the forge is effectively here.
Yeah.
So that you could at a later point build around it.
Yeah.
And it's still attached.
Yeah. Understood.
And you also have what was I going to say? You have set up centrally a fire pit, effectively, so that you can keep warm. It's not cold up here.
No.
But it is pretty warm, but when the wind and the rain comes in, you're grateful
And
for it.
it's not winter, it could get
Plus it's good for
colder.
cooking.
What time of year is it?
It is summer going into autumn, which is why they've gone up here. It's sort of closer to. It's probably closer to autumn than it is summer.
Okay.
It's more of a case of getting up there, getting structures built, so that when the spring rolls around, they're ready to start farming and getting things ready. Was the initial idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as winter is starting to loom, as the hall gets finished off, as I was going to start doing some hunting and gathering, getting in vegetables to dry, meat to smoke or salt and preserve for the winter, trying to build up some stores.
Okay, make a survival check. I will say with advantage, because you will probably have time to do this over a few days. Still
10.
Nice.
Okay.
That's adequate. 10 is adequate.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are able to gather not so much in the way of vegetables, because it's mostly fruits that grow in this particular region. But you are able to get some meat, some deer, and you do find a canal cow that has died. That you are able to strip meat from it, and it is surprisingly beefy. But you are able to strip the carcass and bring the meat back, and you are able to preserve it in such a way that there are supplies. With the various leftover woods, you are able to construct barrels that you can contain the meat in. So you've basically got a barrel of miscellaneous jerky.
Is the river water drinkable?
Yes.
Okay.
It sort of. So there is the river that is closest to you is slightly salty.
Okay.
You suspect that further one of its tributaries that joins into it is from the sea. But the central, if you just cross over the lock and then you go across, there is the other two rivers are freshwater.
Okay, so there's no need to try and build like a
Filtration system.
yes,
No,
or like a just collecting water system.
I mean, you can do that for rainwater
Yeah,
because it does. Where you are, there's a lot of storms and there's a lot of rain.
but if I've got a constant river,
You have got you have got three rivers. It's just again, one is slightly salty. It's like it's not huge amounts. It's just a little. It's something getting used to.
To go maybe one up on that, do we have enough supplies to build a well or two?
You probably could. You could. Yeah, you've got enough. You've got
Digging a
enough.
hole and making sure no one falls in it, basically.
You've got plenty of stone that you could build. You could set out a well to gather rainwater. Yeah, easily enough. But these whole projects, these are all things that would just sort of add time. So this will sort of be getting towards better part of the third week. By the time you've got a well, you've got the sort of the house in place and everything. For palimpsest,
palimpsest.
palimpsest.
Got you.
Definitely just going to be called PAL.
Pal, yeah. But Pal, Elijah, and Winsome.
Limpy.
Yes.
The three of you do have your journey that goes starting through the forest that is to the north of the Seven Home. You then pass the Tower of Dundesh, or the Keep of Dundesh, and you continue up north, following the river for the most part. Or on that journey, which does take the three of you move a little bit slower than Winston has said was moved previously, partly because the terrain is rolling hills for the most part in the central area, which is not unexpected from what you have seen. But it does mean that there are a lot of unexpected animals and creatures that you come across that you sometimes have to avoid. Large predatory cat-like creatures that's.
I mean, I don't think any of us are much into fighting.
No,
actually.
No, Winston is probably the fighter. But between the three of you, you're sort of able to make your way through, sort of keeping an eye out for the predatory animals that may see you as an opportunity.
Opportunity.
So it does take you a little bit longer, but you basically find the start of the canal system. Effectively, there are a lot of rivers and tributaries that come into this. Where the river started initially from Seven Home, it's not much. It's maybe the width of this route, whereas obviously it becomes to about half a mile wide, much further down. But you do see where there are various tributaries that do from natural lakes that have formed at the top, and reservoirs that have formed at the top of hills that have just flattened out and formed. And you do come across several other civilization, sort of like towns and things that have been ruined and left behind.
Ooh,
So they're just sort of
things.
dotted around. Make an investigation check for me.
This one, let's go on.
We have one smart person. They are already worked somewhere else.
9.
9.
Smart.
You and so we're doing check for the rest of you. It's you begin to notice where statues have been desecrated.
Oh.
In particular, your eye does tend to go towards the secular architecture. So from the previous civilization, where there is anything religious, your mind.
So not secular.
I don't mean secular. Do I?
Secular means
I
particularly.
mean the opposite of secular.
Sacred is
Sacred. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
So-
In my mind, it's because we were talking to the registrar earlier in the week, and they were saying about not being secular or being secular rather than. I bring up those confused. My apologies.
Good job.
You spot the desecrated sacred places. In particular, so you spend moments in each location, just offering prayers to the gods and the spirits that were here previously. From time to time, you do come across writings in Celestial that are from previous generations, but they talk about will the knowledge be lost? And they talk about the preservation of knowledge, of history, the stories being told. And you are aware of the myths of how Veden came to be, or where that Veden was found in a library by Elpidia. And it catches your attention enough. You wonder whether this is a guidance from the gods to say that this is something that is worth finding one day, or whether this is just the panicked ramblings of a civilization long long dead. But it has been 1,000 years since people were here before. But it's something that comes up somewhat consistently. To one where it does bother you slightly. By the time that you reach what you are informed is the end point of the train, effectively, where the station goes into, you notice that Winsome relaxes somewhat because he's now in familiar territory. And he says to you, well, I'm glad to see we are back with the locks, and hopefully we'll be making our way through. I don't know what this town was called, but I know that it used to be a harbour once upon a time. There was a lot of trade that happened here, which I assume is what the railway was for. But we should be no more than a day or so from our errands. I wonder how they've gotten on.
I wonder. I look forward to finding out.
It'll be interesting to introduce you to them. Yeah, I'm sure they're not dead. I'm sure they're not dead. They'll be fine. I'm sure. They aren't stupid enough to have killed themselves. Well. Returning to the rest of you, you have constructed a well, you've constructed your raft that has been used to traverse the rivers, you have constructed your pulley system, and you have constructed your longhouse, or at least the startings of a longhouse. You've at least constructed a reasonable shelter that is a good starting point for this next place.
Yay.
It's a rudimentary building, but it is well supported. And you think this is going to be somewhere that people are going to want to come to. And eventually you have left it with enough options that you are able to expand upon. And this could be a very central point of this new trade post, town, however you wish to view it. But it is a good central spot. As you are coming to the end of another day of just finishing off the various bits and pieces that you need to, you do see, you sat upon the top of the roof just sort of playing away and making sure that the roof is perfect. You do see 3 figures making their way up the canal.
Just like walking.
Yeah,
Not
walking.
on the boat.
No, they don't have a boat.
No, so you just said on the canal, up the canal. I was like, from a boat. I'll be like, can I tell who they are?
Make a perception check.
Yay, with my -1, 7.
7.
7.
3 people. There's definitely 3 of them.
Maybe.
Probably. Could be 2 men and a dog. Who knows? 2 men and a goat. You don't know.
Who's the nearest people? Can I see anybody else?
I mean, the rest of them are, in the vicinity.
Oh, okay. Like, I see people. I say that really loudly.
Yes, we all have.
Point.
Oh, right. You mean
Not us people. There are other people over there. Yes, you have eyes. Better.
Do you have any other information on them?
There might be 3 of them. One could be a dog. That's
Okay.
all I can tell you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's
By the canal.
very useful.
Which canal?
I feel like by this time we've
Central.
got quite a bit closer.
A bit closer, yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely looks like 3 people. No
The
dogs.
The width of the canal, though, is half a mile, so they are still spotting you off.
No
Yes,
dogs.
so-
Might be a dog. Might be a bit further back. Can't tell. 3 people, I think.
They are making their way towards the lock that is closest to the crossing point that you have used repeatedly. They're not following the canal coming up like you did and then cutting back.
Yeah.
They're just going direct to it.
One looks a bit feathery.
Oh, Winston, leave us be back.
Amazing. I don't jump down from the roof. I safely lower myself.
Okay, you safely lower yourself.
I could jump, but no, I'll break something.
At this point, Desh, who has been sort of like taking a nap on the ground and is by this point about the size of a horse with large earrings, is sort of getting to about hippogriff sized. In that sort of size, he's getting big. Sort of,
I will go. Come on, Dash. Come on. Let's go and see them. Come on. Let's go.
Gets
And
up
I'll
very
like
excited.
run along with him and we'll run over.
The wing flaps out and hits you in the face. Go.
Cheers, mate. Keep going. Keep going.
He just takes off. But flies at a low level just so that you can sort of run. He's still at the stage where he hasn't quite figured out that he doesn't need to run whilst he's flying. So his feet are still going.
I was like, yeah, come on, buddy. That's it. Keep going.
Isaria's going to join in this one, I think.
Yeah.
Three of you come.
Should I be concerned?
You are somewhat as you see this sort of.
No, I actually say that to,
Oh, it's
to
Winston.
Winston.
No, you
Elijah.
probably not. It looks like that is Dash. He has grown up somewhat since we last saw him. It's quite disconcerting to see two people running towards you, what looks like a horse that is running alongside them, and then wings suddenly appear.
I see.
As it comes flying over the width of the river, and then lands, slamming into Elijah and knocking him off his feet. Just sort of landing on something. He's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake. Yes, all right. It's there. She just sort of not licking, because
Just
but
playfully
just sort of like nipping
batting
with,
around.
nipping with the beak and such, and just sort of biffing. He's like, fuck off.
Biffing.
Fuck off. Yeah, all right. Just give them a little scritch in there.
Scritch.
I'll give a little bow to Dash.
No. Is he still on?
Staring you down.
Is he still on Elijah?
No, he stood up and he's now staring at this new person.
I'll kind of.
I'm just sort of spread my hands.
Oh.
Wings come out.
I can do that too.
Very impressive.
I'm like,
Looks down at your hands.
oh.
Reach into a pocket and pull out, I don't know, a carrot.
Yes.
Because I feel like that's what I have in my
Sure. There's confusion that you've never seen on a bird's face before. It was just,
What did you just give me?
turns away.
Ah.
Just not sure.
I feel I've not made a good start.
I'm like, I'll run up and kind of. Ah,
Over
you've made
the
a new friend.
You cross the lock and
Yeah,
Yeah.
he flew ahead of me, and I'm like, just
yeah, you cross it the lock and you join on the other side. No. You just see his tongue slightly orange and
Good. Yes. Okay. Have you said thank you to the nice person who gave you that?
you're gonna humble handling check.
Yes. Where is that? Oh, 15.
Turns around and just looks at you.
Nod back.
Well
You're
done.
very
Good
welcome,
manners.
Master Dash.
Well done. I'll give Elijah another hug.
Jumps on Elijah again. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Like how
Has he
was
eaten my brother yet?
was he eaten your brother yet?
Mm,
No, he's still around.
No,
damn. I mean,
Dashi's eaten a lot of things, but not your brother.
damn.
Turns out there's plenty of deer and horses and things around.
Is there? That's good to know. Where are they exactly?
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Hi, Winston, and hello, new friend. Who are
Hello.
you?
I am palimpsest.
Oh,
It's-
nice to meet you. Oh, it's Aria.
It's very nice to meet you.
Yes.
The last character could not touch each other.
Never.
I've been sent to help. I hope I can be of some assistance.
Oh, sure you can. Come on, we've got a house built. You can come and.
Got a long house built, not just a house,
Excellent.
a long
Yeah,
house.
I'm very keen to see.
Come and meet other member who's not here. Yeah,
The other guy, this bird's owner.
And also a dwarf.
And also a dwarf.
I was going to surprise him with Grit later.
Okay. The
Yeah.
lot of you.
Come on, meet Chris and Klaus.
So you
Absolutely.
the group of you cross over with eventually Desh being coaxed off of Elijah. You,
How was the trip, Winston? Did you have any trouble?
some we walked the whole way. We didn't go through. We only went through the tunnels once. There's a lot of wild creatures that we need to potentially avoid, but nothing we can handle by hiding.
Well, good. Well done. You stayed safe. That's the main thing.
Yes, there was it's not much we couldn't deal with by being just faster than them.
It's always
Oh,
a
glad to
good
hear
way.
it.
Yes. So you have been busy, he says, as he just sort of notices the now stone building that's being constructed, the well, the sort of smoke from the burning coals of the forge.
Yeah, Cassian found a load of building supplies sitting inside the wall that looked like they were used for repairs or something. So we were able to get hold of them, use them to start our building work. Really put us ahead. It's been great.
Yeah, the roof took a bit of time, but I think it's probably good to keep the rain off, and that's really all you want.
Yes, I recall that storm before I left. It's been, what, he looks up at the moons. They're just sort of coming up over the crest. It's been on that side. It's been 3 weeks or so since we last met.
Gosh, that's gone quick. I've had so much fun chopping down all these trees, building all these walls, and the roof. Took me a while, but I'm so proud of it. My dad would love it.
I'm sure he would be proud.
Yeah.
Grit, you look like you've done some substantial work on your armor.
Yes, got to keep myself busy, haven't I? So, hey, watch this, and I'll just I don't know, smack a button on my left side, my left shoulder, and
Okay.
basically just pop my armor off.
Does it act like the Iron Man armor? You just sort of press it and it just opens up to let you step out of it, or
Yeah.
just stay stood there?
Yeah, it's still a little bit iffy though. So as I'm stepping out of it, it just kind of falls backwards onto the ground behind.
Yeah, you step out of it, and as you do the sort of the chest plate swinging out to as you hit the release button, as it swings away, the momentum just keeps going and it just clatters onto the floor.
It's new, and there's still a few tweaks that need to be made.
It's very impressive.
Thank you. A Grit, by the way.
Palimpsest.
Palimpsest, okay.
Cassian, nice to meet you.
And likewise.
And obviously, you said you were coming here to help.
Yeah.
Are you a woodworker?
I have some knowledge of gardening and planting. I've brought some supplies from Seven Home.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm not entirely sure what will grow here very well yet, but we'll have a look, see what we can do.
Yeah, well, sure you notice we've got plenty of water for irrigation. That won't be a problem.
Plenty of water, plenty of land. Yeah, we've seen some wildlife, but not a lot of plants. So probably the next thing would be
Well, fruits and berries.
they were in the forest.
Yeah.
I meant out on the
Oh,
fields.
okay, yes.
Yeah, the forest full of some interesting things. Like, what sort of things have you brought?
I've brought some root vegetables, some seeds, things that should be able to withstand this climate. Some things we can store and just have as supplies.
I
but
have
some
missed
to be-
vegetables with my dinner. You got to have the vitamins just to keep you going. Stay nice and strong.
I'm sure we can find some mushrooms and things.
Sounds good to me. I think Grit could get a A-class irrigation system set up if we really wanted.
Absolutely.
If it were necessary, this climate, I think you get, from what I've seen, there's fairly regular rains. So I doubt extra irrigation is really necessary. But
That has been a factor of your construction here, is that there has been fairly regular rainfalls. Particularly where you are, there's a lot of turmoil in the air. There's a lot of evaporation because of the temperature, and then there's a lot of condensation because you're right by the sea. So storms are
okay.
frequent.
No irrigation system then, but it's good practice for next time.
Winston says irrigation is always useful. It controls where the water goes rather than just flooding on top. And
This is true. Plans back on, Grit. Let's get on this.
like Laura knows nothing of agriculture.
I'm a city girl.
I know
Not
you
a
are.
city girl, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you're.
I chop down trees.
Make the wildlife go away.
Yeah. I know they just grow. That's it. I chop them down. That's all I need to know.
It's fine. All right. So, with that said, what is it that is your next steps in happening here?
Built. How are the side rooms coming along?
You're sort of getting to them as and when you have extra time. You've had your various own projects that you sort of spent a little bit of time attending to. The forge and the wells and such that you've sort of prioritised over extra rooms once you've got the original one set up. But there is sufficient stonework around, and there was plenty of bricks over on the other side that is available to utilise.
So Winston, it's good that you've brought us some extra help. But what's going on with proper settlers coming? Are we getting them anytime soon?
Yes, well, the Seven Home the council is setting up a bigger expedition to bring supplies, tools, all sorts of things up from some Seven Home. They're going to come up through Dundesh's the keep in Dundesh's tunnel. They're going to come up that way and then march up. They said they'd probably be about a month or so after we left, or maybe 2. So they can't be that far behind us.
So plenty of time to get this place to a livable standard. At least like to finish off the rooms before we head off, so then they've got a solid structure to work around.
Well, you're thinking of heading off again as well?
Oh yeah, I don't want to stay here. I want to carry on exploring.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I was thinking that, once we found some place, I'd want to settle down and be the village smith. But, having seen the railway and the tower, and there should have been a city here for us. There should have, there was something important here and it's gone. I want to try and find more of the ruins and see what we can find out.
And you can always come back and be the town smiths here after we've explored the world.
Yeah, I'm thinking we stick around till the new people show up, hang around a bit to show them the ropes and show them what this place is like, and then maybe go off and find somewhere new.
I like the sound of that. Absolutely. And by then maybe we'll get some gardens going, some food going to help kind of keep people can't live off rations forever.
No, there's good hunting still and fishing.
Yes.
Yes. Oh yeah, fishing.
Winston says, where would we plan to go? Would we travel by the canals down south again, or?
Yeah, we've got
We could go complete opposite direction, or we could go.
Keep going north and see what happens.
No, the opposite direction to north, south.
Well, again, you said that go the opposite direction. Then you said or keep going north.
Or we go round in a circle clockwise direction. We could head east. We could head west. That was what
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you can go southeast or southwest.
Yes.
well, the canal we followed came from a town type place. So if we follow one of the other ones back, maybe it'll take us somewhere interesting. And hopefully not filled with metal snakes.
No. Although we might need.
Snakes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it turned out there's some mechanical guardians from the previous times somehow still active. We had a bit of a run-in with one of them, and it wasn't particularly pleasant.
Right.
Yeah,
That's not worrying at all.
That's fine. They're way back down the canal. They look like they just stay there to make sure that the canals keep moving. We haven't had any trouble up here.
Now that you say that, that is actually an interesting point that you all suddenly have a second of. Actually, yes, because there is a lock. There are several locks up at this point, but you haven't found one of the engines that you came across before that was used to open and close the gates. The gate does open and close. It does fluctuate with the water, but you haven't seen the mechanism.
Oh.
Or the house where the mechanism was stored there previously. It's not something that you had particularly focused on before. It's just,
Nope.
but it was just something that as you're talking about and reminiscing, you kind of realise, huh, it wasn't there.
I don't think I'm smart enough to have noticed that much. Nope, definitely not.
Or rephrase that. Great. That's something that has
There
come to
we
your mind.
go.
Having spent some time studying the mechanism before you travelled up.
Yeah. Has anyone noticed that there's a fairly substantial building missing nearby?
how have we noticed a missing building?
Based on where we've
Good
been.
point.
No.
No, I can't. I've been too busy building this building.
Oh,
We've been through the woods. We've wandered around a bit doing hunting. Haven't come across any signs of buildings.
so you know how there is a building storing with some mechanisms in it that allow everything to be working for the canals? Not
Oh,
noticed.
I didn't really know how it worked in the first place. I didn't want to hurt my
Okay.
brain too much by thinking about it.
We might need to look into that, is what I'm saying, at some point.
Okay. Now?
And did I hear you say there was rooms inside the wall over there?
Oh, in the big wall.
Yeah.
There's what used to be what we think of barracks in there, storerooms. It's a bit cobwebby. Some of it's a bit kind of
Anything, basically.
bit old in there, but we found a lot of construction in there. We managed to get like a system going. That's how we built this nice house.
I just wondered if maybe some unexplored part of that might hold the mechanism you're looking at.
True,
Or would
we
it need
did
to be
only
fixed?
look at the right hand side of this wall.
And even so, you can go that far into this.
This is why we bring new people along. They have good ideas. Thank you. This is a good idea. And one day, probably, maybe tomorrow, I'm going to finish my roof. Then we'll look.
It is.
Wow.
It is late. You know, it's late at this point. It has been.
You probably want to have a good rest, you guys. You've travelled a long way. Probably would be good to sit around the forge, is it?
Fire
Like a
pit.
Fire pit.
There's a fire pit in the centre of this room.
Before that,
Yes.
in a few moments, I will try and find some, I don't know, some maybe fallen branches just inside the wood, maybe.
Yeah, plenty.
And put up some very, very crude, small shrine. Basically,
There are plenty of offcuts of wood that are around, and there's some branches and things that you could decorate nice, that you are able enough to do so.
Just something so I can sit in front of it and offer up some prayers and feel I'm somewhat doing my duty by Brother Oswald and Principal Shanda.
You notice this, and sorry, you notice this in particular, the construction of the shrine to the gods.
Oh, I'm not really a sit down and praying person, but sort of give it a respectful nod when I go past.
Nice.
Winston is appreciative of it while he sits and bow his head before it. Crude as it is, and but the intention is there.
It serves a purpose for now.
Yes, quite.
But yeah, when you're done meditating, since you've stopped your praying, presumably you do at some point.
Yes. Absolutely.
No, all through the night.
Just spend a few minutes.
Couldn't help noticing that you've got a shrine set up there for doing some praying.
Yes, indeed.
Well, we've been putting this place up so we can put extra rooms on the side of the main hall. Would you like one of those making so you can have a shrine set up in there?
Sorry, my understanding was the extra rooms would be to serve whatever purpose was needed. Personally, I don't mind the shrine being small and outside the my view has always been these things are more for us than for the gods. I don't think they really mind how we worship or don't. I think as long as we think of them, that's all they really mind. So, I mean, if people later on want to make a more permanent structure, that is certainly within their right to do. But for me, this is enough, I think.
No, that's fine then, just thought we'd offer.
You're very kind.
So anything else that anyone wishes to have achieved over this last few weeks of downtime?
We're sort of now looking at the few weeks till the proper settlers arrive.
A little, yes, over the next week or so, say 2 or 3 weeks before the other settlers will arrive, and there's sort of more interaction that you're going to have to start doing. If there's any preparations that you wish to do, any other constructions, any other side projects.
I do want to finish the rooms.
Okay. How many rooms are you wanting to construct?
How many did we leave open?
I mean, you left it open so that you had basically 4 off the side of it, but from those 4 points.
Oh, we could spread out.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand. Okay. In which case,
you have that as like the center of a spider. And then
I understand. Okay.
And it just depends on how you build things.
Yeah, because I don't know if maybe just making some doors or something rather than just holes on the side of a building.
Doors are appreciative.
Yeah, I'll work on making some
doors.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
One evening or something at some point when I can get hold of Cassian, I just kind of want to be like, so so that whole disappearing in the middle of the night and exploring the wall by yourself, maybe not the best idea you've ever had. Something could have happened to you is all I'm saying. I just kind of want to know what that was about.
I don't know exactly. Something happened, and did I remember, or was I kind of a bit?
Oh,
in
you
a trance and
remember it.
Like
It was cool.
this
Remember it.
this really cool thing happened, but I don't know what made me go up the wall. I didn't see the sea when we first got here. I was kind of curious, and then just in the middle of the night, I just kind of felt like I had to get up and just go and look at it. And then I got to the top, and I felt like I was just kind of a bit of peace, you know, like we've been running all this time, and it's just been so stressful. And it's just the first time I just felt like I had a bit of a clear head. Probably when you when you're cleaning your armor, you're just in that zone. And like I sat down. Next thing I know, there's a storm. There's lightning everywhere. I just stand up. I stood on the edge of the wall. Next thing I know, I'm down the other side of it, mate. I landed. That's a big drop. I landed. There was lightning everywhere. I don't know what's happened.
Are you sure you didn't hit your head when you fell?
There's a chance. I don't. It was dark.
Did you see stars?
Sorry.
You see any stars sort of around?
Only the ones in the night sky, but it was stormy, so I didn't see that many. But no, I think I'm okay now. I walked up the stairs and I sheltered from the rain, because I thought it's probably not. There's stairs on the other side. I didn't have to climb it, so that's good to know. But I thought I'll hide here from the rain. I don't know, man. Just
urge
felt
again
like...
since?
Huh?
Have you felt this urge again since?
No, not really. I've seen the sea now. It's a beautiful thing. It is amazing. I mean, all we really seen was the river, like nothing else. But it was pretty amazing. But yeah, I just feel a bit more at peace, you know, not running too much. I haven't really looked over my shoulder that much anymore since we've gotten here, which is nice. I'm not having to worry about all of that for a while anyway. But yeah, I just feel good about life.
You know what? I'm happy for you.
Thanks, mate. And I'll give him like a big, I pick him up and squeeze him.
He weighs 300 pounds, so it is.
I'll try and pick him up and squeeze him.
Yeah, he's dense.
He's dense.
Yeah. You are able to pick him up and give him a squeeze, which is it reciprocated?
Yeah, I mean, yes, we're
I'm a hugger.
yeah, I mean, I'm not like fully deep in the hug culture.
You probably just put up with it because you're used to it.
Yeah.
You know it all.
Don't recoil.
No.
Yeah. I know it's easier just to
let it happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Next modification to your armor is ejection system. So when you just that again, you can just eject.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else?
Speaking of the sea,
Yes.
I'd like to spend at least a day or two exploring along the cliffs and seeing if there is a way to actually get down to the sea.
There is, as you sort of explore the eastern coast, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay. You explore the eastern coast, and you do find that there is a somewhat overgrown pathway that does lead zigzagging its way down the cliffs to a beach.
Cool.
At the bottom. It's quite a distance down there, but there is beach.
Beach.
Does it look like a made path, a natural one?
It looks like it was. It looks like it's been expanded, which suggests that as you sort of make your way down this and sort of looking at it, there is what appears to be the ruins of a port as well.
Oh, cool!
Or docks of some sort. Over the millennia, there has been sand and river and ocean has sort of washed over it and has sunk quite a bit, but there are certain points of protrusions, stone that you can see that have remained, that were high enough that have stuck out of the water. They're like sea burns that you do see that sort of prevent the tidal drift.
Okay, I shall report back and tell everyone about that. Because that's a useful thing. And if the new settlers want to try and do some sea fishing, they've got a place they can do it.
Is the sea quite calm considering there's a whirlpool in it?
Well, the whirlpool is about sort of 5 miles
Oh,
north.
yeah.
It's quite a distance away, but it's due to its size. The water does seem to, at times it is relatively calm, but it can get choppy.
So it can be sailed on. It's not just
Yeah, it can be sailed.
crashing waterfalls and whirlpools.
There is the never-ending drop that you would kind of expect at that point, but there's enough sailing between it and there that you could get around.
No, sorry.
I thought you were just flew away.
No, I don't know what else I do.
Anything from yourself?
I would start. We're probably starting by looking at the soil, trying to find somewhere that might be a bit more sheltered, because crops tend they like water, but not huge amounts of it.
Yeah.
So
there's a couple of spots that you make a nature check. I'll say makes sense to nature.
Bless you.
That's an 11.
11. Okay.
I think I'm just carrying some stuff I'm allergic to.
Oh no.
There are a few good farming spots that you managed to come across. The problem is a lot of this terrain up here is very exposed. But with some careful construction of some of the plants or some trees and just making fences. The other thing you have to contend with, as you look across and notice, is the ever-roaming canal cows that are more than happy to just sort of just turn up and graze and then wander off. But there
We've got
is
plenty of wood. We can knock up a fence.
Yeah.
there is sufficient drainage in the soil as well that you could reasonably create some irrigation so that it would get the water and it would still drain away. With some clever farming techniques, you could certainly do something with this soil.
What is the type of soil here? Do you know?
I'm not as good a gardener as you,
Should
but
I be more specific in my question then maybe, which
Yes.
probably.
is it potentially clay soil, in which case we have an opportunity to be making some clay related pottery items?
On the eastern side, it is more of a agricultural style of soil, sort of like large soil.
The side we're
However,
not on.
On the western, that's the side you are on.
Oh, we are on the
eastern
eastern
side.
side.
That's the sort of the more probably more farmed area that was treated before. You actually can see that there's some elements of or some evidence of previous farming that has occurred on this side. It's hard to tell, but after your time of exploring, you have come across it. On the other side, where the bricks were, that soil was more clay-like. It was a bit more arid, less vegetation had grown on it. There's still some like crabgrass that had grown through that does tend to thrive in that sort of environment. But it was, to your understanding, particularly Grit as well, being a dwarf and having your sort of natural taste, that soil is more clay-like. Which is interesting that you have got such a diverse ecosystem just the other side of the river.
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay, thank you.
Klaus, over these next few weeks, the growth of Desh slows. It's not as explosive and sort of comes into sort of what would seem to be more of a continuous suffix. And as your training with him sort of develops and his flight becomes stronger, you feel a bit adventurous.
Whoa.
You take him to the top of the wall. Two of them sort of standing there looking out. He looks at you. You look at him. He looks at you.
There's a moment.
And I look at him. And he just jerks his head. And just sort of stands. One wing slightly lowered.
Climb on.
It is not as comfortable as riding a horse.
You bony burb.
He's a little bit bony in the, the wing ridges are a little bit unfortunate, but you are sat ahead of the wing so that he's got a full shoulder movement. He sort of adjusts to the weight on his back, put your arm around his neck. Looks one side, there's the whirlpool and the infinity pool below it. To the left, there's the canal. He jumps right.
Yeah. Let's go.
His wings fold in, and you feel the speed pick up as you fall these 300 feet. Suddenly, a snap of the wings, and you kick off from the wall, gliding forward and then down again, going down towards the sea deep below. And as the wings snap and finally catch that lift, you soar back up into the air and you feel the wind blowing against your face as you and Desh take those first minutes of flying together. You fly rapidly along, skirting alongside the wall, on the inside of the wall, until you come to the end of it, loop around, kind of back the other way, flying across, taking in the moments, and then getting to the point where you realise that Desh probably is going to get tired quite quickly carrying you, and you gently steer him to come back and fly over land rather than over it, and until he lands and just so
Impressive.
Oh.
I don't tend to carry deer around with me. It was a bit big for me. I'll climb off. I'm sure you know where to find some.
takes off, flies off. You realise that you are a good 3 or 4 hours walk away from the rest of the camp.
Oh.
Sounds all right.
Well.
Start walking back. All right, that happens. But over the next week or so, you and Desh you start to train together. You start to train on the use of your blade on his back, the use of the bow as well, whilst you're getting used to it. You are thankful for your adhesive abilities to keep on things.
Is that what we're calling it now? I want to use my adhesive abilities to walk up this wall.
Yeah, because you do not have a saddle.
No.
Which means that the first few times that you draw the bow, you are holding on with your knees and you're trying not to fall off. So you
Gripping those thighs
You
with
are-
dear life.
Yeah. You are using the thighs, you're using the adhesive abilities to make sure you are stuck on. But you get used and manage to develop the maneuvers that are in each class. As the days start to keep rolling through and they get closer to the full moon's bypass, and you get to the point where people are starting to be expected. We shall close tonight's session
Oh.
and we will pick it up there next week.
People.
Well, I say next week,
More
in a
people.
fortnight, because we're not actually going to be here next week.
Maybe in a fortnight, depending on what everyone else is doing. No, it's once a month. We got, well, to be fair, next week is June. So
Who knows?
we could.
Who knows? So yeah, that is where we will end it for today. Thank you very much everyone for joining us. Thank you, Tom, for coming back.
Yay!
Yay. Thank you, Game
We're all
Team.
together again!
Connor's not here.
No, I mean, as in like the D&D group is all together again
More or less.
in the campaign.
In the campaign, at least we are back starting.
The party is not split.
The party's not split, no.
So we will be back in a couple of weeks. But on Wednesday we will be hopefully doing another board game stream. I've got an idea what we can play for that one. But big thanks to Gainty again. Thank you very much, Gainty, for supporting us and for having us be ambassadors for your brand. We are very, very delighted to be having that partnership. So if you do have interest in looking at some of their gaming gear and goods, you can go to their website and check it out there. Use the code EatCritSurvive to get yourself 5% off. Until we see you again, thank you very much everyone for watching. Take care of yourselves and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.